Okay, I have titled this Opportunity for Restoration. The definition of opportunity is a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. To restore or to have restoration is to bring back, to return, to recover, to heal, to repair, or to rebuild. So the opportunity for restoration is given to us all day, every day, in many different circumstances. There's a possibility that you'll wake up one day and something has been restored that you never knew had been taken. That doesn't happen that often. God has said he will restore many things to us if we seek him and obey. We don't want to hinder God. So let's take a look at what we can do. So what is it that you're looking for and you're praying about? It'll jump out to you in this. But let's see what we can do on what our part of that is. So in order to have restoration, you have to have something that's been taken or that's broken. So let's start with relationships. Those that are the closest to us have the more opportunity to offend us the most. And we have more opportunity to take offense. So we have the opportunity to be easily offended or hard to offend. We all have things in our past that have deeply hurt us. We've all been wounded. It's kind of like a twisted ankle. You tend to protect it and nurture it and be careful, and you don't bang it up against anything because you don't want to hurt it again until it's completely healed. But sometimes we're carrying around past offenses, past hurts for 5 years, for 10 years, for 30, 50. I can't go any higher than 56, but, we carry them around for all of our lives. And they were so hurtful that it changed the direction of your life, changed your personality. It skewed your way of thinking. We don't ever want to be put in that position again. So we put up our walls, we listen for words, we have an attitude, body language, or we listen for the words and we listen for the attitude. We look at the body language. Anything that remotely looks like we are going in that direction, and we activate that force field of impenetrable barrier protectors. They're there. And then we unconsciously, most of the time, we unconsciously start treating others badly in our head because they came very close to our wall. We treat others badly for something someone else did to us years ago. So you relive that awful moment over and over and over again. Some hate doing this. Others carry it around like a trophy, not wanting to give it up. So let's stop dragging the past along for the ride into the future. If I do, this all goes for me too, I'm work in progress. The future will look exactly like the past. So if we're trying to change something, we can't do things exactly the same. I tell myself all the time, suck it up, let's get this over with, get over the hurdle, and get on to better things. So if you don't deal with it appropriately, then it'll come back around again and again and again. Sometimes I tell myself to suck it up on the 55th try. I try to do it on the first. Sometimes you don't see it. But when you acknowledge it, when you see it, and you acknowledge it, that's time for action. Okay, so let's take this step by step. In your head, someone has said something, done something to you that has offended you. It may be very real, but let's face it. It may be in your head from a past experience that you've had. Or it could be a misunderstanding. So our goal is to be like Jesus. Did Jesus think that way? Can you imagine if Jesus was constantly thinking, okay, I'm going into this town. I know they won't listen to me. I know they hate me for what I say. I'm just always being ganged up on. I just want everybody to like me. They just don't realize how bad this hurts me. And the next time one of those Pharisees come up to me, I'm going to tell them this. And then I know he'll say this, so then I'm going to come back with this. It's called stinking thinking. I don't know who coined that phrase, but I've heard that for years. And you are the only one that can change it. Somebody else can't change it. Kind of makes you mad when they try. God can't even change that for you. You have to be the one that decides that you want to change. Then he can help you. He can show you the way. Holy Spirit can convict you and help you through it. But you're the only one that can say, okay, enough. That's it. I'm not going there anymore. I'm not going around this mountain and around this mountain and around this mountain. And it makes you feel isolated, like everybody's against you. Or you walk into that room and that person's against you. So obviously she's already talked to everybody else. So everybody is. So it totally discombobulates your whole life. So stop rehearsing what happened in the past and preparing your revenge. So how do we change our thoughts? Because all of a sudden we're thinking it again. And here we go again. It takes discipline and self-control. So start training your mind. Capture your thoughts. When you get that thought and you realize that you're doing it again, you've got to capture it immediately and say, no, not going to happen. And immediately, as in Proverbs 16:17, says, the highway of the upright is to depart from evil. A country road is for slower speeds, but a highway is fast. So my side note here is, how is highway in the Bible? They didn't have highways, but the Strong's also says causeway, a course, a path, a terrace, something unobstructed. But a highway is fast. You don't go slow. You're not supposed to go slow on a highway. Probably not supposed to go super fast either. But in this instance, you do. So, now I've heard of some people that say if God doesn't like it, then he'll change it. It doesn't work that way. And no 15-minute pity parties. I have someone that used to tell me, well, to get over a situation, give yourselves 15 minutes. Put a timer on and just gripe away for 15 minutes, and then you're done. No, that never worked for me. All you do is get yourself riled up, and you put all of that stuff out into the atmosphere. Immediately means now. In our now. Right now. Do it as soon as you acknowledge it. As soon as you see it. So how do you get it off of your mind? This is definitely through trial and error. Because you try and get it off of your mind and you start thinking about something else. Okay, I'm going to watch TV, or I'm going to think about somebody else. And then all of a sudden you're back here. And you find yourself going, well, I can't believe they said that and they did this. And so what I've learned is you immediately start blessing them, praying for them. Try to think of the good things about them. Lift them up. We have to take authority over our own minds. Nobody else will take authority over our mind. That's up to us. The man with the withered hand. Jesus said, stretch out your hand. You move, and God will restore. He didn't even touch him. He just said, stretch out your hand. The man stretched out his hand. His withered hand he stretched out. This is withered, 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 withered. It's new. But he had to make that effort. So to have restoration in a relationship, you have to be around them. It's kind of a shock to me. Seriously. I mean, I wanted restoration with a certain person. And I kept getting thrown into situations with them. My God, I have managed to avoid this person for years. And now here they are in my face. You wanted restoration, didn't you? You're not going to wake up one day and both of you go, oh, look, I love this person again. It takes time. So stop holding that grudge. Stop worrying or making up scenarios in your head of what's going to happen and what you're going to say and what they're going to say. And sometimes the person that has offended you has no idea they gave you the opportunity to get offended. Because you're the one that took it. You took that opportunity in the wrong direction and got offended. So your head will tell you that they know exactly what they're doing. But take a step back and ask, did they intentionally do that? Or is this my past sneaking back up to try and ruin my future? Think about this person. Is that who they really are? Did they really mean to say that? Maybe they're having a bad day. If they really are mean, then they need the blessing and the prayers more than ever. Maybe it's an opportunity given to you to lift them up and pray for them. Don't turn it around into a pity party for yourself. Use it as a weapon of warfare. The enemy has gotten to someone that you love or that you like. And when it comes up against me, I'm not standing for it. I'm going to pray them out of this. I'm going to pray for them. It's still up to them. But you've got to take a defensive, is that defensive? Or I don't know football. You've got to be on guard. I'm not going to let it get to me and have a pity party. I'm going to pray for them. Start decreeing the promises of God over them. God didn't just tell you you were a child of God. He told them they were a child of God too. So there's a situation there. If you can't confront and say something, then you need to pray for them and bless them. Helps you tremendously. It also helps them. We can't be the ones who sit back and just say, I can't believe she calls herself a Christian and does that. Or, well, that's between them and God, and I start praying earnestly. I said that wrong. You can't say that's between them and God. You have to start praying earnestly for them. Didn't think that was right. Okay. I don't know exactly how it works. But once you start praying for them or you lift them up, you're really not even praying for them and lifting them up that long before your mind goes to something totally different. And then it may come back and then you do it again. And then before long, you're not even thinking about it. Maybe it wasn't them that needed changing. Maybe it was you. Not everything is a supernatural turnaround, because there's our lessons in every process. I said that wrong too. There are lessons in the process. So, are you always talking negative about somebody? Are you always thinking the worst of them? Or, well, I know it's going to be this way. Every time I walk in the house, this is how it is. Every time I go see her, this is how it is. You're setting yourself up. Things will change when you change. It's not just what you say, but what you think as well. It's changing your mindset. So, the Holy Spirit showed me this, how to stop worrying, years ago. And it was praying, lifting them up, giving her back to God. Okay, give her back. I just took it, I'm giving her back. And I can't remember the number now, but there was an astronomical number of times that I had to do this on the way to work, 20 minutes. I mean, like hundreds. It was crazy, because I would stop thinking about it and I would give this person back to God, and then all of a sudden it was there again. And I'd have to, nope, I'm not taking it. I give it back. Probably a day or two. First day on the way to work, it was very quick. I mean, very often. And then it started going slower. I didn't get it as much. The second day, it wasn't as hard. It came a lot easier. And then somewhere in there, I realized I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't having to fight this. I wasn't having any of these thoughts come in. I wasn't worrying about this person. So I learned that years ago, and then I realized I was having negative thinking. Even though I thought I was thinking positive, I was still thinking very negative in some areas. So I had to work on that. And then, you never get done. So then there was one person that I could not think positively about. It always came up negative. And when I was made aware of this, then I had to make a decision. Am I going to do something about it? Or am I going to keep going? So I had to change that as well. It's always an ongoing thing. But when you're made aware of it, either directly or indirectly, you have a choice, and it's your choice, whether to tackle it or not. And there are some times, I wasn't going to say this because I'm so transparent, it's pitiful, but so there are some times that, it happens and you're like, I don't want to fight right now. Forget it. I'm tired. I'll fight with that next week. And it doesn't matter if you fight with it next week. It hounds you until you fight with it. So you might as well just do it then, have a better day. Ask God, if somebody points something out to you that you're doing nicely, in love, ask God, is this true? And be ready for a yes. Because sometimes it will be, yes, you are doing that. Ow. Well, you have to make up your mind right then. Do I go with it or do I tackle this? But you have truth. So then you choose to fight it or change it. It won't change if you hang on to it. He won't force you to give that way of thinking up. It continually needs to be adjusted, realigned, fine-tuned. And then we've got new people coming in. So, you got the lady at the whatever store. I mean, there's tons of possibilities. We cannot take offense every single time. When we've gotten used to the new thinking, like I said, it's a continual thing. Other things come up all the time. But once you get used to capturing those thoughts, it may be a week or a year or a month or whatever, and you're wondering, what is going on? Why are all these problems coming up? Why do I feel this way? And you see that it has creeped back in. Very slowly, it's disguised itself, but it has creeped its way back in. At that point, when you realize it, it's got to go. Sometimes I hear myself saying something and it's like, oh, okay, it's back. So I have to make the corrections again and keep on going. Again, you're the only one who can change it. So over the last year, 2 years, maybe even more than that, the prophets have been telling us to let go of the past. You can't take it into the new season. Leave it behind. So, I don't know if everybody else does this, but I often think of, okay, who do I need to leave? What situation do I need to leave? What do I need to leave? I examine it. What do I need to do? But maybe it's a thing you want to get rid of, but you keep clinging to, like the mindset. Because the stinking thinking is part of the old wineskin. It can't go into the new wineskin. But don't get overwhelmed by the thought of it, because it's not as hard as you think. You have to be persistent. And at first you get frustrated because you think that's all you're doing is fighting this. But when you look back at it a day or two later, the dogmatic persistence that you felt is gone. The thoughts are gone. And a weight you didn't know you had has been lifted. So, in 1 Corinthians 9, 24, 27, it says, "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Therefore I run, this is King James Version, I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air, but I discipline my body and I bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified." So it's discipline and self-control. And when I saw this, where is it? You don't fight as one who beats the air. I don't know if anybody's watched like Friends or something where one of the characters on there was running, and it's like running like this. That's what I feel like, beating the air. You're not getting anything done. You're just looking silly. So don't do that. Sometimes we miss God's provision because it's disguised as a problem. We keep sending back the gifts God gives us because it doesn't feel good. God may send us correction when we've been praying and asking for Him to make us better. He didn't send someone to massage my ego, but to give me correction but I didn't like the way the correction felt. So instead of receiving the gift of correction, I got offended and quit. God knows the need beneath the need beneath the need. So there's a certain area that needs to have self-control, that needs to be under authority, that you need to get rid of in order to get to this next place, in order to get to this next place, in order to get to your destiny. So restoration comes in every area of our lives. If it's been broken, stolen, or delayed. Health, finances, reputation, things stolen, your mindset, your passion, your calling, your confidence, your self-esteem, your joy, your boldness and your character, your position, your honor, humility, and time. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he goes after everything. But these are areas that we have to ask ourselves, what am I missing? There are skills I do not have. There are talents I can't do. There are resources I can't access. If I focus on these, it will feed my fear and starve my faith. So what are the weapons that are within my reach that I can use that I'm not seeing? If you ask him, he's going to show you, because we are so stuck in what was. We're stuck in what's not. We're stuck in what we don't have. We're stuck in what we can't do. We need to be like Elijah. We need to walk into a place where others see shortage and see God's supply. Don't look at the broken, but see the restored. Acknowledge even the smallest thing, and you'll see more. So, blessings on everyone. Go and conquer.